Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of Superkickin with Steven and Greg, your favorite host right here. Steven and Greg over there. We got not one, not two, but three events to talk about. It is going to be a weekend full of wrestling. We got it kicking off today at 1, live from Saudi Arabia. Then tomorrow night, we have two events going on at the same time. We have NXT's BattleGround and AEW's Double or Nothing kind of happening right at the same time. So, kind of take your pick of which one you'll be watching or get your multiple screens out and, enjoy the evening. I think it's going to be a really good weekend of just, good storyline building and good wrestling. But, Greg, how in the world are you doing this fine weekend, Memorial Day weekend?
I'm doing great, man. Happy holiday weekend and doing great over here. And Steven Nation, we did not plan this, but we're rocking our Bloodline Storyline shirts. So you got yours on.
I really like this one. This one's pretty, it's definitely telling that Roman is, different than the rest.
So. Right. And this is my Sami
there it is. Yep.
Zayn shirt.
That's so crazy. I don't think it's ever happened in the history of any show I've done that it kind of just matched up. I guess it'd be like if we were rocking team sports, but
right. But it was crazy on Mother's Day. My better half got us tickets to a house show here in Charleston, and everybody came out. It was a great show. Holy cow! They stacked the card. Title match after title match after title match. The only ones we didn't see was Roman, and everybody else was there. I mean, Gunther and bangers too. I mean, Oscar and Bianca kick it off with a great title match. We had Gunther come out and do an open challenge that was answered by Johnny Gargano.
Okay.
That killed it. We had a Theory and AJ Styles go at it, and with the disqualification, triple threat match with Sami, KO, Street Profits, and Imperium. Great triple threat, and then we had Cody and Finn in the main event in a street fight. So huge card. Everybody came out. All the big names came out, and house show. I figured we're gonna get the B team coming out, but no, everybody turned up. Really showed out a card full of bangers, and even got a picture with Cody. I meant to send to you, but they didn't send it yet. Maybe I'll put it up on the page today.
And afterwards, or like, how did you make that happen?
Yeah, after the main event. We have Cody's music burned into our brains now because it played on and on and on while he went all the way around ringside, all the way up the ramp, signed all the pictures, took all the autographs, and I did the over-the-shoulder selfie, and he popped it to the screen and got a great shot out of it. So, killer Mother's Day card. And even after the match, which he won, of course, in the street fight, he gets on his cell phone in the middle of the ring and calls his mom, and we didn't get to hear the conversation from her end, but the Tron picked it up. We could see it, and so it was a cool moment that you're not going to see on Raw or SmackDown. So great show. And
I think that's a good thing with house shows. They kind of go out a little bit more. They maybe try out. Obviously, they try out different feuds, maybe to kind of see, which is good to hear about Imperium maybe getting a little more love in that tag team title picture. So,
absolutely, they should definitely do something with that Gunther and Johnny Gargano, because that was, aside from there were so many bangers to pick from, but that one was unexpected killing. So they should do something with that for sure.
I know we missed last week. I had took a little road trip down to Cincinnati, got back late, so it's a little rough to try to get going in the morning. So, but we're all back, and let's just kind of kick it off with Night of Champions here. A triple main event, Greg, which always counts oxymoronish or kind of dumb, because let's face it, Roman Solo versus the KO and Sami, that's the main event. But just it sounds like we're going to kick it off with AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, which I like, because that gives it its own feel at the beginning of the night, and it gives the champion, whoever that might be. A lot of people are saying they want the swerve of AJ Styles, but with AJ just getting drafted to SmackDown, does make a lot of sense. Even though, Greg, we still haven't changed the names of Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion yet, or done anything with that. So, be very curious to do with that. And then, of course, the mid, or I think what falls in the middle of the night is Cody and Brock. Now Cody with a broken arm. So we'll see how that plays up. But let's just kind of kick it off with our predictions, Greg, live here at 1 o'clock. So we're trying to get in and out so you guys can start watching that. How about this one? Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. Pretty cool for Ali to have this moment. And I think they're going to give it, some time, maybe 10 to 13 minute type, and, let Ali get some moves in. But obviously it's going to come down to Gunther winning. I don't see any change here yet, Greg, but I like Ali getting this shot and, just, show him what he can do. I mean, I'm still a little bit worried, Greg, now that the rumblings are going out about cuts soon. I kind of think he's, I think Ali is on that cut list, unfortunately. But, hey, he can go out on a high doing some banger matches and, getting in some high quality feuds at the same time. So, this is all Gunther to win, but hopefully a good showing for Ali. How about yourself? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if this card was going down in St. Louis, this match would be over in 3 minutes. But it's in Saudi Arabia, it's in pretty much Ali's backyard, and so it's going to be like the Puerto Rico card in Zelina Vega. He's going to get his time to shine. He's going to probably get his best showing.
Yeah.
As far as really, really looking good and getting the time to look good. And so I expect him to, show up, show out. And it's going to be, like you said, probably a 10, 13-minute match. And, he gets a couple unexpected kickouts, things like that. And, hits the finish and, gets that near fall and everything. So he's going to look good in front of the home territory in a losing effort. But like you said, it's a good thing to have some bangers on the way out the door.
I don't know if he's ever, got a nice match like this there. So that's pretty cool for him to do that. So, just like we'll bring up Sami Zayn. This is Sami Zayn's first trip over there. So I think Ali's been over there, but I can't remember if I know for sure Sami Zayn. How about this one? Rhea. That's all I got. I think the Saudi prince really loves Natalya, Greg, because I feel like she shows up every time. Right? I mean, she was in the first, I believe, women's match there. I think her and Alexa maybe. And then, now I feel like she just kind of shows up. So this is all Rhea. I'm going to say under 10 minutes, if that, Greg.
Yeah.
It's Natalya. But, yeah, this is all Rhea. So any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think somebody in the Saudi house has a crush on Natalya. So, that's all that is. I love the way she
looks all dressed up and head to toe, right? I mean,
right.
Not like you really see much of her, Greg, in these matches, but very, very curious. I feel like she always shows up in these. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's good for her. She keeps getting a good paycheck from it, I'm sure. So.
Absolutely.
How about this one? Are you going to go? I'll let you go first because this is your Asian girlfriend.
Yes, sir.
Surrogate girlfriend. Are you going to call for the win for Asuka, Greg? I mean, she's got the upper hand every time now. So
I know.
Yeah, that's a little telling, Greg.
I know, and usually it is, and I would definitely say, okay, there's your cue. It's Bianca's time, but I'm still stuck on the reprogramming, the repackaging of Asuka, and her going, full heel, and we haven't seen much of it other than her, spitting chili pepper mist into Bianca's face. So, she's too great a talent to be wasted. She needs the title and to show what this new character, this new look, this new everything is all about, and unpeel that onion so we can get behind it. So I'm going to stay with it one more time. We got it at WrestleMania. She lost. I think this is where Asuka gets her come up and Bianca's reign comes over. She's had a good year plus reign. And
she's hit record territory, so I mean, you can hold it
true.
now.
but it's been pretty unspectacular. She's had some good matches, and once Sasha left and once Bailey got injured and started shifting to the damage control, yeah, all that kind of went for nothing, and then she's been kind of languishing in purgatory. So, she's had a great run, pass it on, and let Asuka run with it for a minute, and let Bianca do something different. So, I'm going to go one more time with my hot Asian girlfriend Asuka, and to get this win.
And I'm not going that route. Obviously, you could tell. I'm going to go with, of course, Bianca Belair, Greg. I think this is the onion. The onion's been peeled for Asuka. This is what she is. Almost like a Joker, where or Bray is she waded into Bray Wyatt territory, Greg? Where they're just going to use her and not worry about titles and just kind of let her be.
I know, but if they're going to do that, they need to make her more dominant. They need to
Yeah.
give us a reason to know she's that girl. She's
Bray
that
was
scary
never that
girl.
dominant either, though, right?
True. Well, when he was the Fiend, though, I mean, he was that
Yes.
dominant.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And this could be her version of the Fiend.
Yeah.
If they do it that way, that's some drastic change in appearance right there. It's not a physical mask, but it's
I mean, it almost looks like
you
the
know.
Joker type look too, if you really, like just kind of going into comic book territory. But yeah,
Right.
the women's title picture, Greg, is just kind of we gotta get going with this. Get some new blood in there or something. But and like I said, I think the fact that you're still having the Raw's Women Champion on SmackDown and a SmackDown we gotta change the titles. It just seems so. I don't know. It just got to do something with that. But anyway, so. Speaking of the women's match, Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. So we're getting 3 women's matches, on this Saudi Arabian card today. So this one, Becky Lynch finally found her groove. I feel like, Greg. This is the old kind of Becky Lynch showing up, and I'm calling all for her to pick up the win. And Trish, kind of rides off to the sunset. Maybe SummerSlam, maybe that finishes off, Greg. But if we finish it off here, I'm fine with that. And kind of let things be, because I still wonder if you might, try to put that meat on the bone for Trish and Lita at SummerSlam and let them, have one final ride together. But I'm calling all for Becky, Greg. We got the man Becky, I thought, back Monday night, and now we can really see what Becky's heading into. So, which direction are you going for this one?
I got Becky in this one, but I think the person who's going to be standing at the end of this match is going to be Lita.
Mm.
I think Lita's going to come and take them both out.
Yeah.
And that's going to set up a triple threat.
Yeah.
For SummerSlam.
Lita has been MIA lately, so curious.
Exactly. We haven't seen her since they lost the titles, and with all this bickering back and forth, one person's been notably absent. So,
and she's the middle. She's the middle ground of it.
Right.
She kind of got screwed out of it too. So, because remember, Trish said, "I took you out." So, Lita's got beef with Trish too.
Exactly. So, I think she's going to come back and, be in for herself and maybe take them both out and set up a triple threat.
Could be, yeah. And then this one, like I said, I think the rumblings are that this is going to kick off the night, which I think is a good way to do it, Greg, because we always talk about the beginning of the night sets kind of the tone. And what 2 better guys, 2 workhorses, as they call it, and they want this championship to kind of be that. So I still think it's all Seth Rollins, but I think we're going to get all, as much time as we can for it. Give them all the time, let them pull out maybe some older moves they haven't pulled out, Greg, because I think they're both really comfortable with each other to do that. But this is all Seth Rollins. I'm happy AJ Styles got this shine, but it just makes the most sense to put Seth Rollins with the title on Raw, have him start carrying the load there like he has been anyway. But now you're making him the champion. Just curious. And then, of course, I'll be curious to see where AJ Styles goes, because that's going to be the downfall. You're in this high-profile match, and then, where do you go after that? So, are you going to go with AJ Styles or Seth Rollins in this one, Greg?
Well, I gotta go with Seth. I want AJ to, get the. There's no doubt they're gonna have a banger of a match. It's gonna
Yeah.
be probably the best match of the night. I think I can go far as to say that. I think it's gonna be the
Yes.
best match of the night, and I would love to see AJ win. To be honest with you, um, AJ is as legit as it gets. Everybody would get behind it. Maybe not as quickly as if Seth wins, but you know, everybody still loves AJ. Um, but it's kind of writings on the wall. You can see it. This is the Seth coronation. I only wish it was somebody who was more put the doubt in your mind as far as who's going to win than AJ. Um,
Right now, there's
let's say
nobody there, right? I mean,
right. I mean, but say if Cody was in
oh
the other half of this match, or
yeah,
if Brock was the other half of
yeah,
this
that's
match,
yeah.
then you'd have legitimate. Okay, who is going to win, and it'd be more. It would not be as obvious. So, um, you know, I agree with you. It's going to be a banger, and Seth's going to get to be the first one to have that
I mean, I guess you
pretty
could
new
do
belt.
AJ and Roman, for the summer too. That kind of gets AJ back in the spotlight too.
Yeah.
Because I think the writing is there on the wall. The tires are running their tread, as they say, Greg. A nice little IndyCar reference for us here in Indianapolis. Kicking off the Indy 500 weekend. So, speaking of, did I do? Okay, we'll do this one. This is all. This is Sammy's. Sammy's going to get a nice hometown love in a way too, Greg, out of this one. But we're,
True.
we're we're seeing the cracks forming. I'm kind of wondering if maybe SummerSlam might be Solo and Roman versus the Usos. Tag team action there, which kind of would suck because we won't defend the Universal Championship, Greg. But the storyline's written there, so I definitely think there's something happening with the Usos soon. You know, just like
Hmm.
last night, you had Jimmy, kind of getting told, "Hey, I whooped you back in grade school. I'll whoop you now." So the time is coming, and it's going to be something to watch, Greg. So this is all Sammy and KO, and then they'll continue on, and then we'll kind of see where the bloodline falls. I'm still going to rock this shirt just because it's still some of the best characters going, Greg. But Sammy KO,
Hmm.
this is going to be this. This has some really good moments. I think going to happen in it. It's too bad it didn't have some sort of stipulation. I think there's going to be ref bumps though, so you could kind of play up some of that, or leniency
Hmm.
with the count out outside the ring, Greg, and let them use the little tools around the ring if they need to. But this is almost a tailor made falls count anywhere, balls to the wall match, anarchy in arena type style. But it's
Right.
probably best, it'll probably be some wrestling too in it. So, but yeah, I think this is gonna be one to watch, and we'll see who takes the pinfall. Because it's probably Solo, but it'd be very interesting if Roman was pinned because he hasn't been pinned in, I think someone said 1,200 some days now, Craig, and he's celebrating officially 1,000 days as champion tonight. So, very awesome timing on that for that, and then he'll get a celebration, which we'll see. I think that gets crashed next week by the Usos, Greg.
Yep. But yeah, it's totally the Sammy KO show right here. Uh, there's some wrinkles you can put in there if Solo and Roman win, as far as them getting their hooks into something Raw related, um, and undermining the new championship. That's probably why you're not going to do it. So, but this is the way for Sammy and KO to, um, finish their part of the bloodline story,
Yeah,
and
move
then
on.
move on
Yeah,
to, everybody on Raw, and focus on somebody else for first time in almost a year. So definitely Sammy Kazo, and the most interesting thing is to see how the Usos are going to figure into this, because we're going to see them during this match. So are they going to intentionally cause them to lose the match, or are they going to accidentally cause them to lose this match? I think that's what's going to happen here, and
yeah. I'll
and
be
that's going to
curious to
lead
see if they
to.
do show up tonight, or do we just let it play? I mean, or maybe they're, some were saying because of their past past crime, DUIs and all that. Maybe they're not allowed to fly into Saudi Arabia. That might be why that could be why they're staying home. So, and
is that
then
what it is? They're not making the trip?
I think, but I can't remember if because, well, I guess Solo showed up at Clash of the Castle, so yeah, I don't know. I think that's why they're. But then we'll see. I think that's why they set up the celebration for next week, Greg, because that's where the Usos crash the party per se. So
still don't know who's going to be Roman. Do it tonight. So
yeah, and still don't know who's going to beat Roman eventually. that's because right now I shared the post in the Superkickin page where the next number is 1027, Greg. So he's coming up on that soon. But then Bruno is 1237. So he's still some time away from that. But you got to assume he's going to pass Pedro Morales at 1027. Hogan was at 1400. So that's 400. That's still another year away.
Right.
He doesn't pass that, right?
No, he only got time for that. I mean,
I guess I could see Bruno would be 200 some days, and that's probably WrestleMania time. So, but yeah,
no, we don't want that. So
is this one of the person that's going to do it? Is it going to be Cody or Brock? Cody's going in with the broken wing, Greg. So that means Cody's going to win, right?
I know he's going to have a cast on, and you could probably load that cast, put some
the metal,
some tools in a tray in it. Exactly, and kind of bludgeon Brock with his cast.
Yeah.
Dish out pain while he's taking pain himself. That kind of thing. I think this should definitely be Brock's win. There's so much you could do with it as far as the gore factor and the violence factor. Brock's already stepped it up big time. I loved him seeing him pull out that Kimura lock and use it because that's the correct way to use it. In MMA, that's how you put that on. And I've seen arms break and shoulders separate using that move, and you can very visibly see it. I like the angle on Raw because he was just great at turning his arm the right way so that it looked like it actually could be broken.
Yeah.
So.
Then how about him and Cody and Triple H at the end? Too bad, Greg.
I thought Cody was going to mention that Brock broke your arm too in the same hold. Yeah. So, and he didn't mention that. But
you think Triple H is trying to get healthy?
Yeah.
If he was going to do a match, it has to be against Cody, right?
Yeah, it would have to be. It definitely could not be against Brock. I mean,
no. I would be afraid he might be put down for a little bit longer.
For good.
I think I'm going to go Cody, Greg. I think they're just building up the baby face. I know it's we went Brock last time and Cody won, so I almost feel like I got to go Cody this time. It won't surprise me if Brock wins. But the way that they're building up Cody to try to, really climb these mountains. I mean, what harder mountain to climb than to try to win a match? Now he's done he had the torn pec, right? The muscle. Yep. He had to show up at Hell in a Cell. And now the broken arm. So, I mean, yeah, I'm going to call for Cody, Greg, in this one.
Yeah, I'm staying with Brock. I hope it goes 1-1 headed into SummerSlam. So
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it always feels weird to do a rubber match when there's not really any rubber to be needed, but I could still get behind the idea that, you could still probably play it up somehow to give Brock, that last chance to go against Cody and, put in some stipulation like, okay, this is our final, I'm moving on from you type style. So, I think this is going to be a really good night. I always feel like these Saudi Arabian shows go long, Greg, so buckle up, get your popcorn ready, and I do love the idea of wrestling at 1:00 in the afternoon, though. It kind of gives especially like this Saturday. There's there's the Easter Conference Finals are tonight, but it's usually that Saturday that there's not a lot of sports happening. So not like they're trying to do this in the middle of football season. So
Right.
it's always nice to have this. But let's get our first commercial break, and we'll get into NXT BattleGround, which takes place tomorrow. We'll be crowning a new women's champion, third time in three three pay-per-views, I believe, or whatever it is, Greg. It feels like we keep crowning new ones. So we shall see where we go with that. But let's get some Rogue Energy talk, and then we'll get right into NXT BattleGround. All right, NXT Battleground. Maybe just some quick thoughts, kind of on it. I think we're going to see Tiffany Stratton get crowned, Greg, as the new women's champion and kind of the face of the women's division, which is long, not maybe long overdue, but it's her time to shine, as she says. And then I'm going to be really curious to see Braun Breaker in his heel side of things, Greg. What does he do, kind of go at Carmelo? What are you looking forward to, or what are your kind of quick thoughts on NXT Battleground for tomorrow night? And then we'll get right into the predictions.
Yeah, I'm definitely most excited for the return match with Carmelo and Braun, with the characters change.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo's always been this kind of tweener,
yeah.
Anyway, but going from babyface Braun to heel Braun, how would the match play out differently? And will it be a notable difference from the first one?
Yeah.
To step up the violence, step up the aggression on Braun's side, which he's been doing. Those spears have looked clean. They've looked amazing the way he's been hitting them, even better than before. And does he have some more underhanded tactics? Because right now he's not going to be ashamed of his game and do all the heel shenanigans. So I want to see some of that. That could be, some wrinkles that we didn't see before, and how would that play out? And then you got Carmelo in his hometown, and so it's like the perfect storm for this matchup. So I'm most excited about that. Very excited about Dragunov, and
there we go.
and that's my guy. I love me some Dragunov, and they've done this well with playing up. If Dijak can break Dragunov, and Dragunov is unbreakable, as he's been saying. So
he does so well against bigger guys.
Exactly. He looks amazing. He's going to be, I think this is going to be an underrated or, an unexpected banger here. So
kind of like flying under the radar. Are you going to see you're picking Dragunov? I think I'm going Dragunov as well.
Yeah, definitely taking Dragunov.
They're higher on him. So how about this one? I think I'm going to go, Greg, with Dragon Lee getting the Heritage Cup. Remember, this is those, what is it, like 3 rounds of 2 minutes or something like, or 6 rounds of 2 minutes or something. It's kind of got the weird kind of rules to it, but I think they're really high on Dragon Lee, and getting him this kind of Heritage Cup to kind of kickstart his career in NXT, Greg, I think is where they want to go. Noam Dar obviously has had this cup forever. I think he's only 2-time champion of it. So he can move on to other things, but then let Dragon Lee kind of run with this and see what he can do with it. Which direction are you going with this?
Just because the rules are so weird, like you were saying, Noam is going to know better how to utilize them than Dragon Lee is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's going to be more tricks in his bag than Dragon Lee is, coming from a more traditional perspective, and this is unfamiliar territory for him. So I think just because of the familiarity and the built-in advantage that he has, I think there's going to be some tricks that he pulls to get the win. So I'm going to say Darrow's going to win this match.
How about this one? Do you think we see a title change in this one? I'll let you have this one first.
Gallus just got back, and the Creeds, we've been delaying the inevitable with them for a long time. That being said, I still think it's been not long enough for Gallus to have their run. So I think they're going to cheat their way to victory, hence with their third man advantage.
Yeah, I'm going to call Gallus to win. I mean, I think it's time to pull the trigger and put the Creeds up, on the main roster. Maybe after SummerSlam, or I mean, heck, I wouldn't mind seeing them go against KO and Sammy. Let them, have that first shiny moment. But
absolutely,
I think it's definitely due for Creeds to move on. Let Ivy Niles. I mean, I hate always keeping one person down there, Greg, but obviously Ivy Niles still needs to work down there. Let her kind of do her own thing. I mean, but it feels like the Creed brothers are kind of just like floating in the ether down there. So maybe a change of pace up on the main roster would do them some good. How about this one? This one I'm really, I don't know. I keep wanting to see what they're going to do with Joe Gacy. Like, could he get the title change? But it feels like Wesley keeps, Cardiac Kid is his new nickname, or what, feels like should be his new nickname. But I'm going to call Wesley to retain Greg. But if they somehow pull the trigger on Joe Gacy, that could maybe be the start of something for, the dyad in Schism. But I'm still going with Wesley to retain him here, Greg.
I'm going to take Tyler Bate.
Okay.
I love Tyler Bate. He is a killer, and he pretty much ran the NXT UK when he was champion. They probably had their greatest success with him as champ, and that's including the Walter era, which lasted a long time. I think he was kind of the heart and soul of NXT UK, and now he's brought it over here.
Yep.
And I think he's going to have the same effect as champ, probably more so than Wesley, because Wesley is, to his credit, he's built up his support, and more we see him, the more we like him, and the better he's gotten. But Tyler Bate has that
fly. Like he, not like he had time to sit back and recreate himself, Greg. Not like he went away. I mean, he was pretty much, I think he was gone. He wasn't gone that long. I think, once they broke up the tag team, maybe a week or two, but it just feels like okay, go. Tyler Bate, a good side note about him, Greg, I've been seeing that he's been on Main Event a few times. So you wonder if they're kind of getting him ready to go up as well. So, but, I think a good North American title run through SummerSlam, through Survivor Series for him would be something good too. So, I mean, like I said, I think the Joe Gacy factor is like, okay, are you finally going to get them some direction, especially when you know that, James Gibson and Drake, whatever the dyad guys, they've already requested to be out of there. And Shawn Michaels apparently brought it up on a conference call. Somebody asked him about it. So it's out there, so I mean, yeah. And I've kind of given out mine on this one. I will say, Greg, on the other side, man, they're really high on Lyra, though. I brought it up before. She keeps getting these high-profile matches. So they're really giving her that chance to shine. But this is all Tiffany's time. There's no doubt about it, Greg. If they pull the trigger on Lyra, yeah, that we've already we kind of give India Hartwell the nice little swerve of winning. You don't need to do it this time. This should all be Tiffany Stratton to win. So, which direction are you going?
No, I'm with you on this one. I want to see Tiffany with it, what she's going to do with it. Lyra, I see what they're working on, but it's still a very unfinished product. So, too soon for her to get it, I think.
Yeah. And I believe, and here we go. Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker. I think you brought up some good points, with Braun. The gores, the spears have been hitting like a heel should. I mean, I'm almost like, afraid somebody's going to get injured hit that back too hard. But I think Braun will be the one to watch in the losing effort. What does he do kind of heelish or something like that, kind of bring out that heel side even more. I like that we have the lines defined, though. I think this feud needed that. Like you said, Carmelo, I think, started as a heel-ish, but I think people saw the potential and how good he was, and they had to get behind him. And Braun, I mean, what? He was like 6-0 in his first ever matches. So, it's hard to deny Braun. So these two guys are, they've really carried NXT kind of through this new era. And, Braun should be up soon for the main roster. Then Carmelo should be due soon after, maybe Royal Rumble time. So both these guys, I think, are headed for big things in the next, 3 or 4 years for NXT and the main roster, Greg.
Yeah, I agree. Both of these guys should be on the main roster right now. And, I was, still in the wait and see mode with Braun, even this full year that he's had, well, over a year since 2.0 debuted. And seeing this heel side makes me want to see him even more, up on the main roster. Just, we're getting to see the full spectrum of what he can do instead of just being the crowd pleasing, platitude spitting guy. And this is, the Braun I want to see right here. He's, been a killer. His moves are amazing, with that heel intention behind him. And, he's fallen into that Roman Reigns kind of mode as far as, the physicality and the look and the scowl and everything.
Just regular segment. I like that aspect that they've given him. It doesn't matter what is happening.
Yeah, he's looking like that guy. So, I mean, I love it. I want to see more of it. And as far as an official prediction, I'm going to say that Carmelo squeezes by with the unconventional move. I think maybe this is the one time that nothing but net gets kicked out of, and we get a schoolboy, or we get a something with a quick pin, a reversal, something like that. So, but he gets the hometown win, and how WWE does with guys in their hometown. So,
sometimes back in the day they did not give love, Greg. I'll say
right.
That. I still think of JR. He got doused in barbecue sauce, I thought, the one time in Oklahoma, right? Or there's been a few. Yeah, there's been a few.
Yeah.
Not great moments, but and then maybe do you think we might squeeze one more match out of these two? If Carmelo gets that kind of fluky win in a way.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a basis to do that, because that would be what Braun has to bark about when he comes out. You're going to be. They did that with another rivalry. You're going to be happy with that little roll up win. That's going to make you happy, that kind of thing. And they had a big old blowout cage match or something. Yeah. So I could definitely say something like that. That'd be a reason to do it.
How about one? Well, we got 2 more commercial breaks, so we'll knock those out real quick before we get into AEW's Double or Nothing, kind of their big show of the summer, and what they got planned for that. Lots of blood and gore, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into this.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan over at BWSPORTS1.com and Black and White Sports. And I'm wondering, if you're ready to buy or sell that home, now's the time, and I got just the person for you. Mr. Sean Nugent, a.k.a. Rockstar Realtor himself. 317-503-8322. Put that home on the market. Get into your dream home with this man. Talk to Sean at Talk to Tucker today, 317-503-8322, and make sure you tell him the boys over at BWSPORTS1.com sent you.
All righty, and finally, we got Double or Nothing happening in Las Vegas. Always a good time for that. We got some great matches lined up. We also have some matches that I'm thinking probably should have been on Rampage, but we'll get into those as well, Greg. But I think the big kind of main thought I have is the main event. This is going to be, all four of those guys have to deliver to kind of show why they're the pillars of AEW. So I think the main event, this might be the most important main event in the young history of AEW right now. To really show why MJF is the guy, show why they put, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy all with him. Because it sounds like, Greg, we were curious, like what, how did this even come about? It sounds like it's a lot of MJF's doing, his thoughts and ideas on it. So obviously Tony Khan is the main, booker and all that, Greg, but sounds like MJF kind of put the bug in his ear that he wanted to do this. So very interesting there. But what is your kind of takeaway, kind of quick thought on Double or Nothing tomorrow night?
Yeah, very excited for that match. That match, and of course the Anarchy and Marina, the two that have my ears perked the highest.
Yeah,
and the Pillars match. I was thinking about it. I was like, how did these guys get pegged as the Pillars? I mean, I get, they're homegrown. They're the guys that we had no idea who they were before they AEW went live. Aside from Sammy Guevara, because hashtag Lucha Underground. RIP. We miss you. Wish we could have it back. When I saw Sammy Guevara down there, and even at that time, he stood out. He popped off the screen, and you wanted to see more of his character. So I knew how good he was the moment I saw him, and I knew that guy. And he's in the first match on the first episode. So I get it. He's spectacular. He's been kind of a lackey of Jericho and kind of a hidden gem, kind of if kind of thing. But Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, MJF, we'd never heard of these guys before until AEW went live. So you get why they're considered the Pillars, but there's a couple other names that you can think of that, why aren't these guys pillars? Or look at Britt Baker, why isn't she a pillar? So, you wonder how these are the four. But that being said, I'm not mad at it. And it's going to be a banger of the match, knowing the abilities of everybody in this match. And so I'm interested to see how it plays out. And I'll save my prediction for a moment, but this is going to be, it needs to be a good 35, 40 minutes of, the most dazzling wrestling you've ever seen.
Just let everybody have their moments and all that. Speaking of matches that should be on Rampage, Greg. So we have Jeff, Matt Hardy, Hook versus Ethan Page in the Guns.
Yay.
I'm just going to call the faces to win, and this should all just go away.
This is how, to its credit, Acclaim was started in the same position that the Guns were in, and look where they are. Yeah. So
and the Guns have proved themselves. I'll give them that, Greg. But this whole firm Hardy business, I thought that would have been done at the Ultimate Deletion.
Right.
And we're still doing it. You're just taking people away.
Exactly. I mean,
so
they need to let this storyline die, bury it.
I'll give it a buy-in. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Put it on the buy-in and let's be done with it. Yeah.
Which direction are you going?
The face is all the way in this one.
Okay. How about this one? We'll say you could have the Field, or you could do Orange Cassidy. How about that? We'll just, because it always hard to predict. I'm kind of curious what we might get as surprise. Usually we get that Joker. I believe last year wasn't it MJF?
Yep.
So
the devil costume and the
fur,
henchman coming
the
out.
fur was helping him. Remember that was Stokely.
Yep.
So, I'm going to go Orange Cassidy though, and like I said, I'll be curious to see who the Joker is. We just don't hear any names anymore. Right? Usually, you kind of hear rumblings like, "Oh, this guy's due for contract up." I mean, I probably would have said Nick Aldis, but he's kind of running his thing in Impact Wrestling. So I don't know who else is kind of the big name out there, Greg. But that's why I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy. As much as I think the field could take it, but they just keep building up Orange Cassidy with his book bag championship, going by the skin of his teeth. So I'm going to pick Orange Cassidy to pick up the win here.
Yep, I agree. Orange has found a way every single time against whoever it is, from Big Bill down to, the luchadors. He's found a way against everybody and taking these injuries along the way and just adjusting. The guy is the master chameleon, and, next to Dean Malenko, it seemed like the man of 1,000 holds and 1,000 strategies. He's figured it out. And so I have no doubt he's going to figure this out. The real intrigue is who the Joker's going to be. And I don't know. There's not a lot of names that pop to the top of my head as far as
Goldberg.
Oh God, I hope not. That would make me want to turn off the screen right there.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
Goldberg is the Joker.
I'll give you a question I had from 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Where's Bray Wyatt?
Yeah.
And there's a reason he's not on the roster lineup for either show. Could there be? I mean,
Drew.
How long has it been since he's been on TV?
Can you imagine if Drew was the Joker?
Who?
Drew.
Drew.
McIntyre.
Oh.
But he'd have to win it. He'd have to win the championship. Like I think you want to build him. That's why I think waiting out. But there's not a lot of names. So
there is.
Like we said, we hit MJF last year with it, Greg. So that's about as high as you could go. I mean, there's not much names that you could do higher than him. That you'd be like, oh my God, that's him. So, but I do. We've brought it up a few times. I love Orange Cassidy setting up the matches for himself. Like he's like, whatever, I'll fight them all. Like here, or like a person's doing a promo. Hey, you want a title shot? Like I kind of, that's a different way to go about it. So
right,
and it's working. How about this one? Are we finally pulling the trigger on Jade losing at a pay-per-view, Greg?
As much as I want to say yes, because Taya's my girl, and I would love to see her win this match. I think there's a bigger fish to fry about to go down, and this is a perfect spot. So I'm going to say Jade is going to win. And when she's going to pick up the stick and she's going to talk some smack. There's nobody left in this locker room, and Britt Baker's music is going to hit.
Oh, I was thinking somebody else. Mercedes.
No, because Mercedes just got injured.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
With the match with Willow. So that would be a shot I would have called if that hadn't just happened.
That is true. Yeah.
But now, she's going to be on the show for who knows how long.
Britt's going to be the one to defeat her?
I think Britt's going to be the one who makes herself known that, this is my time. Jamie's got the world championship.
That makes sense.
It's my time to come out and get my championship, and I'm taking yours. So I think this is where Britt gets into the game and levels up Jade Cargill.
Yeah,
that's
what's needed. So
yeah,
and that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if Taya beating Jade, does that necessarily do anything more for her? I don't know, Greg. I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to just say Taya wins. I mean, maybe with some different move too. Since they keep playing up that don't they have the same finishing move? So maybe she does some other move to kind of makes her submit. Then that way you could say she hasn't been pinned. That's kind of what they're doing with Roman. He hasn't been pinned. But so yeah, I'm going to say Taya picks up the win. I am not confident at all with it, Greg, but I think the time is now, or soonish, to finally move Jade up, like you said, level her up, because she's treading water, and that's not good. Because she's too good to, be in that predicament. How about the other side of things, the other women's championship? I think this is all Jamie Hayter. Another kind of, I think we need a blow-off feud between the homegrown talent and the outsiders, Greg. Give me, blood and guts. Give me anarchy in arena. Give me something that, finally pays that off. But I think Jamie Hayter picks up the win here. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Outcasts come out and take care of her afterwards to finally lead to that final payoff match.
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be a Hayter win. The Outcasts seem to be, the leaders in the clubhouse as far as getting the upper hand and the numbers game and everything. Jamie's eating an injury from it, and so she'll get her, payback in this one. But yeah, I can never see after the bell blindside and finally setting off that blow off. So I'll endorse that 100%.
Which is I think it's much needed. We've kind of hit all the angles of it. We got the sides defined. It's like, okay, give us, we haven't seen blood and guts for the women's side things. I mean, we've seen, lights out matches. I guess you could do a lights out style match too, but some sort of blow off match too. So Greg, unfortunately, the only picture I could find for this match was this picture of Wardlow. There was no double or nothing match for it, but I'm calling all Wardlow. I think Luchasaurus finally does some action, Greg, but it's still Wardlow the win. He just got it. So, I mean, him losing it would be pretty crazy, especially to Christian. So this is all Wardlow, but I think Luchasaurus makes his name known. And, then we get Wardlow and Luchasaurus in a legit feud as, the heel dinosaur and see what he does on that side of things. So it's going to be very curious, Greg, if Luchasaurus ever comes out from the dinosaur. Like, what will he become because of that? So what about you? What are you thinking on this match?
I know, I agree with the Luchasaurus end of it. I mean, going all the way back to Lucha Underground, where he was still the dinosaur. Now he's just as a dinosaur.
A dark one.
Right. Now he's just a darker dinosaur. That gimmick's made him a lot of money, apparently. So as far as his match goes, it's kind of the feud which would go away because there's been no real buzz behind it.
Yep.
I'm, never been a Christian fan anyway, so I will go ahead and say Wardlow, but I wouldn't be surprised if something Luchasaurus does causes him to lose the match to Christian. So,
but then he can't win the title again. That would be a fourth title reign for Wardlow, and he needs to move on from that title. So. How about this one? FTR, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Mark Briscoe, Beer, hit spots, Greg. This is just Karen Jarrett in the mix. Which direction are you going for this one?
I'm going to stick with FTR. They've been stacking the deck against FTR and trying to put Briscoe against FTR, and this is kind of where
that goes.
That in-ring scenario is going to hit, and somebody's going to on the Jarrett side is going to do or say something and piss him off, and it's going to end up with the FTR getting a win. So very haphazard feud that I'll be happy to see over with.
Yeah, this is another that it does feel like Double or Nothing has a lot of these feuds, Greg, that have kind of gone on too long. So hopefully we start fresh for the summer, heading into Double or All In August, and then All Out the next weekend. So we definitely need to change up the guard a little bit here. So I think I like your prediction of somehow Jeff and Jay do something to Mark, and that gets them fully aligned with, FTR. I mean, I guess if he wants to do something, maybe he's wanted to go the heel side of Greg, he could help them out, but, maybe tries to help them out and doesn't work out. But I feel like he will get in the middle of this somehow. So, but it's all FTR for the win. How about this one? The Elite Blackpool Combat Club, Anarchy Arena. They're going to have the New Jack's music playing, Greg, like they did last time for some of these matches. Which direction are you going for this one?
Man, this is gonna bring the house down for sure. They should just call this the blood and guts match because that's what you're gonna get. But from us, it's hard to say. It is. It's very hard to predict. Me personally, I still want to see BCC win because they're the top of the food chain. They're the predators, and everybody's after them, so to speak. So, and they have devoured everyone in the Elite this whole time until Hangman's gotten involved.
Yeah.
So I can see the Elite winning. Somebody getting a pin on Yuta.
Yeah.
But my official prediction is I'm going to stick with the guts and say BCC is going to get a win. Don Callis is going to get himself involved.
That could be
I think he's the X factor. Yep.
I think, and what's interesting is, Hangman called for this match. So it feels like a lot of times, if you call for the match, Greg, you don't end up winning it. But just ask Jericho about Money in the Bank. Comes up with the idea for it, never wins it. But I think it's hard because the Elite are just back. But they pick up a lot of big wins anyway. So I think I'll go with Blackpool Combat Club, and then maybe we do blood and guts, and maybe that's where the Elite get their win back. But I think Don Callis is the X factor, Greg. Does he officially align himself? And it probably makes sense to do it tomorrow night. Takes out all the Young Bucks or Hangman or something where Kenny has to, kind of protect him. But I think I'm going to go with you, Blackpool Combat Club, just because, it makes a little more sense for them to pick up the win now. Because we know this story of the Elite. They're back together and all this. So, yeah.
And I'm going to put out a new member alert.
Okay.
That's what I got it right with Puerto Rico and the honorary members of the LWO. I'm going to do it again here and say BCC is going to get a new member, and I'm gonna put my money on Takeshita. Don Callis bringing them in, and kind of the same way they did Yuta, and Takeshita is going to become the next assassin trained by the BCC.
And that could be the X factor as well, more so than Don Callis. But that's probably a pretty good call on your part. So I will second that motion. It is official, as Adam Pierce says. So, how about this one, Greg? On your bingo card of people to appear, did you have Sabu anywhere? Because when he was talking all those rattle, I was almost thinking Rob Van Dam, with the different little catchphrases. But then once he started saying homicidal and genocide, I was like, oh, that's not Rob Van Dam. But Sabu will now be the special enforcer, Greg, for this match. And it is kind of telling because Sabu is not exactly the most PC person ever, Greg. They were bringing up, people have brought up old tweets, and they've kind of banned Hogan for, being a racist, but then you're letting Sabu in. Very interesting there. I'm thinking it's a one-off, but still. And of all the people to kind of align with Adam Cole and, Sabu was not anywhere in my purview, as they say, Greg. But I'm thinking Jericho's going to pick up the win, though, with it being unsanctioned, because then you could give Adam Cole the official win down the road. Especially because Jericho's been eating pins, Jericho lost to Roderick when out in the field of that arena with Adam Cole, because they weren't in the arena. But so I think Jericho picks up the win here, and then we'll get some maybe we get a wrestling style match, and then that way that gives Adam Cole the win officially over Jericho. But we'll see what Sabu does. I brought up Greg at the convention. He was here. He fell, passed out, or something. Had like a health scare, and man, so I don't see him doing much. But hey, Mike Tyson didn't do much in his special force role way back in the day, other than knock out Shawn Michaels. So maybe that's all. Maybe that's all Sabu does and gets Adam Cole to win. But very interesting that Sabu, of all the names, Greg, that I would have thought, maybe this is a bigger surprise than Goldberg showing up on AEW TV. But what are your thoughts on Jericho and Cole unsanctioned match, and which direction are you going?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, nobody has thought about Sabu in about 15 years. So big surprise to hear that name come out of the ether, especially him being a longtime member of Bullet Club, and Bullet Club having about 80 members from the beginning to right about now. I'm surprised it wasn't, one of those guys, Switchblade or Juice Robinson or, somebody else in Japan right now. Would make more sense. And I'm still looking at that promo. He calls him out. He goes, "Okay, it's still 5-on-3. You get somebody else coming out from back there."
Sabu is worth two guys. It's worth two in the bush, as they say, Greg.
Apparently. So
two for the price of one.
It's curious.
Sabu is quite the he's a wild card. So yeah, I can see him being worth two guys, Greg, to even the odds.
Right. So maybe we get Kyle O'Reilly to come out of his hobbit hole wherever he's hiding. I don't know. Jericho just made it very obvious. Like, he's still 5-on-2 and then barely now 5-on-3.
Yeah.
So they still have the numbers advantage. So I expect that the sides will get equalized somehow. So
maybe Rob Van Dam.
Maybe there needs to be some more firepower added to this thing. So, like I said, I think Bobby Fish has been fired, but where's Kyle O'Reilly?
Fish is Where's the lie? There it is. Thank you for the silence. Bobby Fish is off doing his own,
and I expect Britt to get involved too. So
that could even the sides.
I think Adam Cole's going to win. There's going to be so many people in the ring by the end of the match that you're going to think it was a battle royal.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm going to say Cole's going to win.
All right, and then here we go. MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, all vying for the AEW World Championship. I know, like I said, I kind of went this is the most important main event in AEW's history, but I mean, right now it probably is, just with the talent that's listed and, all them getting their moments to shine and, where they've all come from. I mean, it's hard, like you said, it's hard to believe. Was in the very first match ever? Was it Jungle Boy and Cody?
No, I think was it Sammy and somebody?
Okay, I can't remember. Yeah,
but either way. Yeah, but I believe it was Sammy and their short history with somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. It's only been 4 years.
4 years. Yeah, it's hard to believe it'll be 4 years this October. So I'm still calling for MJF to retain. Maybe Sammy Guevara does do the money bag thing and take the money and run, Greg. But MJF will pick up the win. But I think everybody's going to get their moments. It'll be interesting to see if they could do like Edge, Ray, and AJ Styles did, Greg. Just really using everybody at once. Because normally these matches are a couple guys roll out of the ring, wait a couple minutes, then roll back in, let somebody else do it. Maybe you go, tag team action a few times, but I'd really like to see them all, kind of intermingle a lot in this match so they all get their shine in it. Because I think ultimately that's the goal of this, to really show that they're all worth it. So, and they are. But it's ultimately MJF to kind of take over, get the win, and move on and see where he goes next.
Yeah, I agree. This match was been a long time in the making. Like I said, with the whole pillars conversation, is a story for another day because I said there's some other people I could think of inserting into one of these slots, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing each individual matchup. MJF against all three of these, and then MJF taking out their picture, and the other guys each having their moment against the other and having their showcase, where they, wrestle each other for 2 minutes straight to a stalemate, that kind of thing, to show that they are, there's a reason that these guys are in this match. But I agree. I think it's going to be, everybody's going to get their time to shine, be on top. But it's all going to come down to Max and how willing he is to get underhanded. And so we're going to see the diamond ring come into play. May see the somebody get hit with the belt once or twice. And
ref bump.
Right, definitely going to be a ref bump.
Does Cult of Personality hit at the end of the match when MJF is celebrating?
It could be.
I don't know. I like that they haven't told us, anything about Collision, Greg, but I'm still holding out that Punk wants to finish things the right way, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of reaction he would get too, with all the latest comings and goings about him.
But with everybody else, I think if anybody but MJF wins, it'd be a moment for, standing on the ropes, arms up, title in the other one hand, and streamers and whatever coming down, and the music blasting. If MJF wins, that would be a moment that somebody would want to poop on, and somebody steal his thunder. So Cult of Personality playing as he's holding up his belt, that would be an amazing moment. That would be an epic moment, because I think we're all kind of thinking MJF's going to win, which is going to be a great reason for them not to do it. But if we're going to do it to introduce his next challenger, and it's going to be somebody big, and Punk would still qualifies as that, that would be the time to do it. He's run everybody down and been the bully on the block for so long.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to see somebody's rain on his parade as he wins this 4 pillars match, which officially is going to be my prediction, is that MJF will win the match, underhanded as usual. Won't be clean, won't be able to headlock takeover. He's going to find some way to cheat, but it'd be great to see somebody, the next big challenger, come out and kind of rain on his celebration.
All right. We'll hopefully everybody enjoys the Memorial Day weekend. Shout out to, all those past veterans that have passed away, either fighting in action or, getting back. I know I have a grandpa who passed away when my mom was 5 years old, who was in World War II. So nice little time to honor him at Memorial Day. And of course, you're a veteran.
Yep.
So of course, thank you for you're still with us, Greg. Though so you don't get the love on Memorial Day. Sorry, you get the love on Veterans Day. And then of course, tomorrow is the big Indianapolis 500 here in Indianapolis. We're expecting 250 to 300K people at the race tomorrow, Greg. So that is quite a sea of people, as they say. It's always a fun day. We get there early, eat some breakfast, walk around, watch some racing, maybe walk more, watch more racing, eat some more. Just a good day. And the weather is supposed to be like right at 80 with some cloud cover, maybe, Greg, which is ideal. We've been out there and we were sweating even before we walked in the track. That's how hot it's gotten before. So, and then there was even a year though that it was actually chilly where we were having jackets on before the race started. So you never know what you're going to get, but Indianapolis 500 is always such a great tradition here. I know it's it doesn't seem to hit outside of Indiana a lot, but it's still big for racing fans. So this will be the 107th running, and they still have the original yard of bricks, as they call it, Greg, from when they built the track in the 1907 or something like that, and then started the first race in 1911. But it's just a good tradition here, and like we said, enjoy the weekend. What are your plans for the weekend? You got to celebrate your girlfriend's birthday yesterday or the day before, correct?
Yeah, on Thursday.
Thursday, okay. And you do a little something for that, or are you going to do that this weekend?
No, nice dinners. Did a carriage tour for the first time here in Charleston.
Okay.
Lots of tours, things going on that. I had a dinner cruise planned on it, but the weather did not cooperate.
Oh,
So we have some hurricane-ish weather going on, with it being gray and rainy and high winds pretty much the whole weekend. So it's kind of spoiled some of the plans.
Right? Our hurricane season a little bit later. I always forget.
A little bit later, but that weather's starting to is been rolling, pretty much all week. So, but it's been the anomaly so far. It's been beautiful here in Charleston for a long time. So one weekend of bad weather, ill-timed as it is for my plans, but who says birthday is restricted to one weekend? I celebrate birthday month, so I think we're going to end up doing that. But we've been having a great time and looking forward to lots of great wrestling tonight and tomorrow, and getting on with talking about it next week. So
tomorrow's gonna be a full day for me with watching the race, going home, showering, and then watching AEW. I'll probably do BattleGround on Monday, just because the pay-per-views, it's easier to buy them and watch them live, where sometimes harder to buy it and wait. So which one do you think you're going to end up watching tomorrow night, Greg? Are you going to try to catch both of them, or do you think one kind of holds priority over the other?
I'm probably gonna have to find a way to watch AEW.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'll see if there's a theater out here that is showing it, because I definitely not paying $70 to watch it. I'll put down 20, 25 to watch it in the movie theater. So I'll see if I can find a theater for that. In Charleston we had it, or not Charleston, Charlotte we had it. But out here I'm not sure what it looks like. So be looking around for that. Otherwise, I'll be watching BattleGround tomorrow.
All right. Well, everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy it, and enjoy the day off on Monday if you have it. And we'll be back next week with more action. We'll actually have a little bit of break from predicting, because I think we have. Let's see. I guess we do have Forbidden Door coming up in June, and then we have Money in the Bank, I think the first weekend of July or either the end of June-ish. And then, we'll have SummerSlam. So it just keeps going, Greg. We never stop here unless we need to. So enjoy the weekend, enjoy the day, and have a great kind of, this is the kind of kickoff to summer without it being called summer, Greg, as it were. So pools opened up, you feel like that summer itch in the air. So it's always one of the better weekends. And then you always have Memorial Day where you kind of chill and, get ready for the funness that happens in summer. So, all right. Well, thank you for watching Superkickin with Steven and Greg, and enjoy your